Jasmine and Gino's emotional trip to Miami, a journey of rediscovery and healing. The sun dipped low in the Miami sky, painting the ocean in hues of orange and pink as Jasmine and Gino stood on the sandy shores, feeling the warm breeze caress their faces. It was the first time they had visited this vibrant city together, and the trip marked a significant chapter in their lives. For them, Miami was not just a vacation destination, but a place of emotional healing and rediscovery. The beginning of the journey. Jasmine and Gino's relationship had seen better days. Once passionate and full of laughter, it had recently been marred by misunderstandings and growing emotional distance. They decided to embark on this trip to Miami as a last-ditch effort to rekindle their love and reconnect with each other. The city, with its mix of cultures, colors, and energy, seemed the perfect backdrop for their quest for renewal. Day 1. The Ocean's Embrace. Their journey began with a visit to South Beach, the iconic stretch of sand known for its Art Deco architecture and lively atmosphere. As they walked hand in hand, the rhythmic sound of waves crashing against the shore provided a soothing soundtrack. They found a quiet spot, spread out a blanket, and sat down, the vast ocean stretching out before them. Jasmine looked out at the horizon, lost in thought. "It's beautiful, isn't it?" she said, breaking the silence. Gino nodded, his gaze fixed on the water. "It is. There's something calming about it." For the first time in a long while, they allowed themselves to simply be present with each other, without the distractions of everyday life. The ocean's vastness mirrored the depth of their emotions, and as they watched the sun set, a sense of peace washed over them. It was as if the sea had absorbed their anxieties, leaving them feeling lighter. Day 2. The pulse of the city. The next day, they decided to explore the vibrant streets of Little Havana, immersing themselves in the rich Cuban culture that permeated the area. The lively music, the aroma of Cuban coffee, and the colorful murals brought a smile to their faces. They stopped by a small cafe and ordered a couple of cortaditos, savoring the strong, sweet coffee. As they sat at a small table surrounded by locals chatting animatedly in Spanish, Gino reached across and took Jasmine's hand. "Remember when we used to go on adventures like this all the time?" he asked, his eyes searching hers. Jasmine nodded, a soft smile playing on her lips. "Yeah, I miss those days. We were so carefree." They reminisced about their past travels, the places they'd seen, and the experiences they'd shared. The conversation flowed naturally, and for the first time in months, they felt connected. The vibrant energy of Little Havana seemed to breathe new life into their relationship, reminding them of the joy they'd once found in each other. Day 3. A day of reflection. On the third day, they visited Vizcaya Museum and Gardens, a historic estate that offered a serene escape from the hustle and bustle of the city. As they wandered through the lush gardens, admiring the classical architecture and intricate sculptures, they found a quiet bench overlooking the water. Jasmine took a deep breath, feeling a sense of calm. "This place feels like a different world," she said softly. Gino nodded. "It's peaceful, a good place to think." They sat in silence for a while, each lost in their thoughts. The tranquility of the gardens provided a space for introspection. Jasmine thought about the struggles they'd faced, the arguments, and the silent distance that had grown between them. She realized how much she'd missed the closeness they once shared. Gino broke the silence, his voice gentle. "I've been thinking about us. I know things haven't been easy, but I want to try to make it work. I still love you, Jasmine." Tears welled up in Jasmine's eyes as she looked at him. "I love you too, Gino. I want to make it work as well." They talked openly, sharing their fears, hopes, and desires. The conversation was honest and raw, filled with both pain and the promise of healing. They acknowledged the mistakes they'd made and committed to working on their relationship. It was a difficult conversation, but it was also a turning point. They felt a renewed sense of purpose and a deep desire to rebuild their connection. Day 4. The Dance of Love. As their trip neared its end, they decided to experience the city's vibrant nightlife. They dressed up and headed to a salsa club in the heart of Miami. The rhythmic beats of the music, the lively crowd, and the infectious energy of the dancers filled the room. Jasmine and Gino took to the dance floor, a bit hesitant at first. But as the music played, they found themselves getting lost in the rhythm. Gino spun Jasmine around, and they laughed, their worries forgotten in the heat of the moment. They danced with abandon, their bodies moving in sync, and for a while, nothing else mattered. It was as if the music had rekindled the fire between them, and they felt the spark of the passion that had first brought them together. Day 5. A New Beginning. On their final day in Miami, they returned to the beach where their journey had begun. They sat on the sand, watching the sunrise. The sky was a canvas of soft pinks and purples, and the ocean shimmered in the early morning light. Jasmine leaned her head on Gino's shoulder. "This trip has been incredible," she said, her voice filled with emotion. Gino wrapped his arm around her. "It has. I'm glad we came. I feel like we found each other again." They sat in comfortable silence, the warmth of the rising sun bathing them in light. The trip had been an emotional roller coaster, filled with moments of joy, reflection, and vulnerability. But it had also been a journey of healing and rediscovery. They realized that their love was worth fighting for, and they were ready to face the challenges ahead together. As they stood up and walked along the shore, hand in hand, they felt a sense of hope and renewal. Miami had given them the space to reconnect and rediscover the love that had brought them together. They knew that the road ahead wouldn't always be easy, but they were ready to face it with open hearts and a newfound commitment to each other. Jasmine and Gino's emotional trip to Miami had been more than just a vacation. It had been a journey of the heart, a time of reflection and healing, and a beautiful reminder that love, when nurtured, can weather any storm. As they left the city behind, they carried with them the memories of their time together and the promise of a new beginning. Subscribe the channel to get such videos.